What's up everyone, I'm Santi and welcome to my channel. Okay, first and foremost, I really hope you had the merriest Christmas ever. I left you a little message on my community tab, you can go check it out. And it's that time of the year in which I need, as a music reactor, to make my best albums of the year list. But I was thinking about it and I thought that it really adds up to a lot of fighting in the comments, so I'm not gonna make a ranking. I'm gonna make a list. I'm gonna tell you what my favorite albums of this year were, and I'm gonna tell you what my best of the best, my top 3 albums of this year were. Okay, first of all, I wanna clarify that this is not a ranking. Again, this is a list and this is my list. So please don't feel offended if your idol doesn't appear here. Maybe it's because I haven't listened to the music yet, and you can leave me in the comments a suggestion and I'm gonna react to it. Okay, another disclaimer is that there are 4 albums in particular that I'm gonna be missing from this list, and it's because I didn't have time to react to them and I really want to make a reaction to them. And there are 4 albums that a lot of people want to see in this list, that a lot of people had already put on this list, and they are Titanic Rising by Waste Blood, Magdalene by FKA Twigs, The Search by NF, and A Different Kind of Human by Aurora. Those 4 albums are not gonna be in this list. I'm so sorry, I didn't have time to react to them and I really want to do it. So you're gonna have to wait. Probably in the next few weeks I'm gonna react to the 4 of them. And last but not least, there were 2 albums that I reacted to that you're not gonna find the reaction yet because I reacted to them yesterday. And those are When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go by Billie Eilish, and Cause I Love You by Lizzo. My reactions are gonna be coming this week, but they're definitely on this list. And I think that sums up all the disclaimers. Let's get going with this list. Okay, the first albums that I want to mention are what I call pure pop royalty. To me, pure pop includes Latin pop. And these 3 artists that I want to mention are 3 artists that I know that I can trust whenever I sit and listen to an album, that they're gonna do a good job. First and foremost, there's Carly Rae Jepsen with Dedicated. I mean, there are songs in that album that remind me why I love Carly. Songs like Want You in My Room, for example. I mean, you can always trust Carly to make pure synth, perfect pop, bubblegum gorgeousness. So I'm always in good hands whenever I sit down and listen to Carly Rae Jepsen. Another great artist, a queer artist, is Kim Petras with Clarity. Now I'm gonna tell you, we already had a really great era with Era One, even if we didn't have an album. This is her debut album, and if you haven't listened to Clarity, you should go listen to it. I mean, I know you're gonna drag me in the comments because she works with Dr. Luke and he's a rapist, and I'm totally on Kesha's side, but I can't really put that on Kim's shoulders, if you know what I mean. Her music is amazing. Songs like Icy, Sweet Spot, Got My Number, it's just... what can you say? I mean, you have no choice but to stan Kim Petras. Third on this list of pure pop royalty is a new addition, and it's Camila Cabello. She has become a real Latin pop icon, and Romance was... she was that bitch, you know what I mean? That album made me cry through and through because I fell in love this year, so it was really hard to listen to, but every song in that album is amazing. And there are songs like Used to This that really surprised me. I know that it was produced by Phineas, Billie Eilish's brother, and honestly, I wasn't expecting it. So I'm really happy that Camila is being able to establish herself as a Latina and at the same time just give me some alternative pop there. I'm really happy with Romance. I think it's one of the best albums of this year. The next list I'm gonna give you only has 1 album, but it's definitely the debut album that everyone should listen to, and that's Sigrid's Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch is that example of an artist that comes charging right at the beginning of their career. She really reminds me of Lorde in that department, and Sucker Punch is an album that, if you haven't listened to it, it has really cool early 2000s pop, but also mixed up with an Alanis Morissette kind of delivery. This Norwegian girl is driving me crazy right now. She has definitely become one of my favorite artists. And if you haven't listened to any of her music, I really recommend you to go find her Raw EP and basically every song by her. They're all good. And Sucker Punch is an album that's structured perfectly and that really broadcasts her talent in her debut album. It's crazy. It's a debut album and it's also on this list. And before I get to my top 3 albums of this year, I want to mention 3 albums that I do think define the quality of the music that we got this year. It has been so prolific. I think everyone is at the top of their game right now, and these 3 albums really define that. First and foremost, I want to mention my most recent reaction, that is Norman fucking Rockwell by Lana Del Rey. Now, if you know me, you know that I'm not a Lana Del Rey stan, and I sat down to that reaction with a lot of caution. But when it finished, I was like, what the fuck? I mean, I never liked Lana's music. It was crazy to me to find an album that I could really connect with, and this was Norman fucking Rockwell is that bitch. She also worked with Jack Antonoff, and if you've been following my channel, you know that Jack is my favorite producer in pop music right now. So I'm really happy that I got to listen to it. I'm very grateful for my friend Baby J, who told me that I should listen to it, because it became one of my favorite albums of this year, and I didn't even like the artist before that. So yeah, that was, I think that was the most surprising addition to this list. The second album I want to mention is a reaction that I haven't put out yet, and it's Cause I Love You by Lizzo. Now, Cause I Love You, right from the beginning, screams Lizzo. It's empowering, it's fun, it's sing-along, it's twerking. It has everything that you want from Lizzo and more. And it's short because it only has 11 tracks. I'm not talking about the deluxe version. And it feels just perfect. I could have done with one more song, but still, I mean, I like that she made me want more. And I think that she knows how to manage the amount of talent that she releases to you. You know, she lets you know her in bits, like a buffet. And it's, I don't know how to say it. It's like going to church. And I feel honestly happy every time that I finish listening to any of her music. Next, and definitely at the front of these 3 albums that define this year in music, is Taylor Swift's Lover. Now, Taylor was released from Big Machine Records, and she owned her first baby with this album, and it shows. She doesn't only love her boyfriend, but she also loves her album, and it shows. You can definitely tell that this was crafted with a lot of love in her heart. And what can I say about that album? There's already a reaction. It was my big break in YouTube. It has over 31k views for a 2700 subscriber channel. So I'm really happy that I got to listen to that album for a lot of reasons. If you know what happened to me this year, you know that songs like Daylight and songs like Cornelia Street really got me. And I definitely think that Taylor deserved the Woman of the Decade award. She has put out an amazing piece of work. And Lover is the first step on a new chapter in Taylor's career. She's already Woman of the Decade, and next year is the Loverfest. I really hope for the first time she comes to South America, but I think I might travel to see her. She really meant a lot to me this year, and that reaction was pivotal for me on YouTube, so I'm always gonna be thankful for this album. And we finally got to the end. These are my top 3 albums of this year. Coming at number 3 in my top 3 albums of this year is Thank You Next by Ariana Grande. Ariana probably did her best album to date this year. And she has been through a lot, and the way that this album is structured especially when you take into account Max passing and her relationship with Pete and everything that she went through. Really, it's structured beautifully in a way that it's healing, even way more than Sweetener. You know, she sounds empowered, she sounds reaffirmed, and it's really important that Ariana could find a way to still do what she loves after everything that she's been through. And I'm really, really proud of Ariana. She definitely was the pop artist of this year. She ate everything and everyone. She conquered it all, and I'm really happy that she's finally getting the success that she deserves. Coming at number 2 on my top 3 albums of this year is When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go by Billie Eilish. Now, this album didn't come as a surprise to me because I already knew how talented Billie was, but up until yesterday, I had only listened to 7 songs on this album, and they were all great, except maybe for Wish You Were Gay, which is not up my alley. But when I listened to this album in the way that it's structured, the first track and the last track, I thought these 2 siblings are a powerhouse in music production. The way that this album is made has so much work put into it that it instantly became one of my top albums of this year. It's just so good. I mean, Billie's songs were already good, but as an album, as a project, you know, it's so cohesive. It starts the way it should, it ends the way it should, and the order of the songs it's perfect. And she was able to talk about really, really deep things in a way that is enjoyable. It's so crazy because she talks about really, really dark subjects in this album. And I'm really, really happy that I got to react to it. My reaction is gonna be out probably next week because I just reacted to it. But it's done, it's done. You just need to wait a little bit more. Okay, so I've mentioned Taylor, I've mentioned Lana Del Rey, I mentioned Lizzo, I mentioned Billie, I mentioned Ariana. Who the fuck has the best album this year? It's actually a tie. Now, tying at the top of my list are 2 albums that really, really surprised me this year. I mean, one of them didn't really surprise me because I know what I can expect from this artist, but the other one definitely was a surprise. The one that didn't surprise me was Charlie by Charli XCX. Now, Charlie is definitely part of what I called pure pop royalty. I know that every time that she puts out an album, I can sit back and relax, and I know that I'm in good hands. But with this album, she really, really slapped me in the face. You know what I mean? This album is perfection. It's perfection, the way it's structured, the amount of work that is put on every song. I mean, Charlie and A.G. Cook are a powerhouse in pop music. And even if she doesn't get the mainstream recognition she deserves, she's gonna get it from me because I really, really value craftiness in an album. I value artists that are able to just take out tracks from an album if they don't add up to a whole idea. And what she did with the executive production of this album was amazing. I mean, she worked with what I call the good side of music, you know, with artists like Lizzo, like Haim, like Christine and the Queens, like Pablo Vittar, Cupcake, Brooke Candy, Kim Petras, Troye Sivan. I mean, what can I tell you? I mean, this album doesn't have features because she needs the streams. She has features on her albums because these artists really enrich her music, and because she's a mastermind on how to make a song. So I'm really, really happy for Charlie. I think that she's at the top of her game. If she could top herself, she really did. I mean, she outdid all her previous work with this album. And the second album that I instantly knew that was gonna top my list of this year's best albums is Fine Line by Harry Styles. I have never been a One Direction or a Harry Styles fan, but when I listened to that album for the reaction, I was mind blown. The way this album is crafted I mean, I have chills just thinking about it. The people he worked with, his band, is perfect. They were able to work in a way that this album sounds loved. It sounds like Harry put all his heart to it, and I feel so blessed to have been able to listen to it, because honestly, I mean, we don't have that quality in mainstream pop music. And unlike Charlie, Harry Styles has the recognition he deserves, and I'm really happy that he's being able to live up to it, you know? Because he really has a really high bar in terms of how big his fandom is. And I'm happy that he is using it to make good music, to put out music that has a lot of quality. The way his album is structured in 2 discs and 4 sides, you know, it's just thinking about the album, thinking about how you want to structure the album, how you want to make it cohesive, how you want to get your message across, you know. An album is not Spotify. It shouldn't be. You need to be able to take out songs that are not good, to maybe write another song to make 2 songs stick together. It's a craft, and that's why I value Charlie and Harry so much. It's because I feel like when they put an album out, it's an album. You know, it's not just a bunch of songs stick together and with a concept that is just pinned like very, very slightly. It's really thought out, it's caring, and they have a huge amount of talent, both of them. Okay, so those were my favorite albums this year. Let me know in the comment section down below what your favorites were. I really hope you have a happy new year, and I'll see you guys in the next one. If you've been paying attention to this video, you know that there's something quite important happening in 24 days. If you've seen my videos, you probably know what that is. And I wanted to tell you that I'm really, really excited for 2020. I really hope that I get to see you on the other side of the camera and on other places during this year. And I want to tell you how grateful I am that I have such engaging subscribers. I really enjoy replying all the comments that I receive, and you really, really made this year the sweet part of a very, very bittersweet year. And I'm totally grateful for you, and tonight I'm gonna toast to you, especially to you. You have become one of the most important things that I have right now, and I really hope that you're having a great New Year's Eve. If you're not, just know that you can find me in the comments and we can talk there, as always, and I'm always gonna be here for you in the same way that you're here for me. Have a happy New Year. I love you.